So, matting. Mods. Oops. Clicking too fast. Anything under 20 I don't normally bother with trying to select a number for, unless I'm trying to like scrape together a bit of a dough for something. Odds are they won't get all that high for quite a while. Weren't exactly difficult to get true drag, but I also know quite a few newer people that I actually helped, you know, in various regards in the game that thought that they couldn't go to the plains at all until I explained to them, no, that the plains are designed for low level to vets. So yeah, I mean, it's very possible that a lot of people did not end up going that were lower level, lower MR. So it's likely that they all don't have a bunch of stuff. Granted, the price not going down or going up because of it. I mean, probably. Wait. Oh, do I have that on the others? And hello, egg. Yeah, I did. Did need a little bit of endo there. I have sculptures to turn in. I just didn't want to do it. I have a strike on you then? Do. Okay, yeah. That's fine. Yeah, with his hair statues. Yeah, I just wanted to go through mods instead of having to go through a fucking Maru's Bazaar to turn these in. Plus, I haven't gone through my mods in a while to sell them off for Rendo. I got like 5.2k out of it, was it? Something like that? I did form the dagger, right? If I did, I somehow grabbed the other Zaw. Oh, I did grab the other Zaw because I had to fucking check to see if I put the mod on it, because I wasn't sure if it was that one or if it was the other one, because I thought I had 3 points left on the, what do we call this? Bakaviru? Instead of the Bapalakavariru, or the Balplak, I don't even know anymore. I know some people never catch them in with the coatings. I wouldn't hold onto them in my inventory. The mods are the sculptures.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
I mean, some of the mods, if we're talking about mods, drop so fucking frequently that I don't even care. We probably won't sit here for us to get full energy, by the way. I'm probably going to go for about half the bar, so 350-ish? I think it's about half. Also, you know, XP. Because apparently you got to use the first ability for 5 times. You know? Done. And that didn't give me any XP on the Zaw. Wow. Mission translation, fucking murder them all. KB, you used to be able to murder them all, and then they made extermination missions slightly more infinite. I think eventually they'll stop spawning, but I believe they still spawn, trickle in eventually, like 3, 4 at a time. You used to be able to kill them all. You used to be able to literally make an extermination mission empty, devoid of all life but the Tenno. That's not the case anymore. They changed that a long time ago. So salty about the necro speed is due to running out of enemies after crashing about halfway through. Wait, what happened to it? Or such a boring frame. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to counter that, but no, she's not very that useful outside of farming XP for melee weapons for sure. Or using the Zenostar in a choke point, or on a COD, to just sit and farm on that and throwing out your melee weapon every 30 seconds. There's not a whole lot of thought process that goes into her. I think it's part of the reason why I like Mag so much. And Hero for that matter, and like Adaro, so like you actually have to pay attention to your surroundings and to your health. Granted, in Rose you can spam 1 a lot and just CC things forever, but eventually that finger starts to get hurt and whatnot and sore from just mashing all the time, and then you eventually start stopping on that. Oh, fucking Corpus Moas. Fucking hate Corpus Moas when I'm playing Adaro. Here's your horde of 1,000 Moas. Have fun with no health. Let's see. Gameplay has got so slow lately. I'm waiting for a Warframe with this Warframe. I don't think gameplay has gotten that slow. Like, I can still easily burn through a mission in 5 minutes or less if I really tried. And I'm not sure how you didn't get alerted from the body. You did. I mean, that's Cetus, though. Cetus was DE's first actual attempt at a MMO area. And I feel like they did a pretty damn good job, considering everything else has been small, tight quarters. Oh, I missed an enemy back here. It's open world in the sense that you don't have walls surrounding you all over the goddamn place. It's not some arbitrary tile that you see a bazillion times. Unless you run and see this a bazillion times, of course, but... I like the planes though. Planes of Iolon. And it seems like they actually have a lot of additional content that they can do with it. They may have come up with only 5 bounties for an egg, but I mean, they really don't have that many mission types. Not all of it's MR fodder. Nobody showed me that with the fucking Zaw Dagger Arcane. Which, speaking of, those Arcanes only work on Zaws. So, there's that. And I had a lot of fun yesterday before I had accidentally streamed Warframe then. Instead of remembering that, hey, it was Tuesday and you need to do Saints Row 2 with Lamb. I had a lot of fun yesterday running missions as operator only. Leveling up amps, so... In your honest opinion, see this or the time it took for a new planet such... What? I don't know what you're asking. I legitimately have no idea what you're asking. Cetus on day one was definitely buggy. Like I said, it was their first actual attempt at doing something like that. And like I said, they did a pretty damn good job for the first attempt. They have fixed probably 99% of the bugs that people had a lot of issues with, though I do agree that the bounty thing was very annoying. I didn't run into it often enough to consider it a waste of time. Just to be besides to be a major annoyance. The time it took for them to do that over creating a new planet / solar system. Considering that Cetus is 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers, roughly, I may have that number off incorrect. That it's unique, that they added since then additional caves to it. I have no problem with the amount of time it took for them to create Cetus. I'm still not entirely sure what your question is here, or your problem. The planets are honestly boring as hell to me. There's not much to explore, the tiles are small. There's not a whole lot going on in any of them, ever. You come to this one planet on this one node for one particular mission to do whatever the hell the mission is and then leave. There's nothing random about it, there's nothing special. Hell, the most special tile I had seen was one of the Grenier ones, the asteroid one. There was 2 ships that came in, and there was a special console that you had to put a power core into that they changed into an actual just hacking terminal that opened up a door. I actually found that to be the most entertaining thing, and I was very disappointed when they changed it from having a power cell that's somewhere randomly hidden in the room, either atop a ship or on the edge, into just a console, straight up console. I found that really boring of a change that they did. I prefer the more exploratory rooms and tiles. Like they did never have enough tiles in the tile sets. Guy, you suck for seeing that body. New planet or system would have also been equally as boring and tedious and repetitive as we have seen already. Egg. They can't do much more with it. With the system. They can add a few new tiles, a few new tile sets even. That's about it. Now with the new faction, what would they add? What faction would they possibly add? The only one that would even make sense would be Sentience. And as far as we're aware, they just randomly exist in the void, as far as we know at the moment. Okay, Egg. When you say a new race, a new faction, you have to consider not only what are they, why do they exist, how did they get there, why are they just now showing up. There is a whole bunch of backstory that gets involved in that. A lot more than one player may actually think about what it takes to actually develop something like that. I can come up with a bazillion different factions, doesn't mean that they all fit and make sense. Like, for example, Halo factions could suddenly appear in Warframe. Why? Just because. Just because it's new. Doesn't mean it makes sense. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to use Halo factions at all because copyright issues, but it's not the point. There's a lot that has to be thought about before you can just create a new faction. Them even creating the Tusk Greniers and the Austrian people, I'm sure they thought about a lot before they actually implemented it, because it's like, it's not that they created a new race, they created a sub-faction of a race. I would have to highly disagree with that. Russell Deck, are you Max? You are. The only thing I personally would rather have had them do oversee this, if I had to say something for them to do oversee this and the planes, is the tile sets that exist now. There's not enough variation in them. I would have much rather have had them go through and add 50 additional rooms for each type of room, including dead ends, hallways, major big rooms that, you know, have like 4 or 5 entrances, exits, stuff like that. I'd rather they would have added 50 tiles to each tile set over doing Cetus work. But that's only if I had to pick something. Because there's not enough variance in the tile sets that exist now. Why is this out of... Oh, I guess I have put all 3 of those form in there.
Operator, you have remembered well how the Tenno arm themselves.
True egg, however, you also have to take into consideration not every department should always be talking to each other. There's no reason for a lot of the departments in DE, granted as small as DE is, they do technically have departments, for them to be talking to each other. It's only when it's important enough that would affect them in some shape or form that it would make sense. Though I will agree with you on one of the dev streams I saw for the Plains of Eidolon update. Before it actually came out, like bits and pieces of it. There was a lot of not knowing all the details off the top of their head, and that may have just not been them not being told, but rather them just not having quick note cards of some description nearby of all the changes, because programmers didn't write up a changelog. DE is terribly bad at writing up changelogs. Renner, really? Are you coming around that corner? You get to die. There's a long arrow. I keep forgetting it defaults me on the invis bubble. I love how Grenier don't even bother turning around when they hear what should be a Grenier dying behind them. And Corpus don't do that either. Ground Fury is definitely making these execution animations so much faster. So you use a COD for leveling? I could. But, I mean, I don't know, I prefer this. Takes a little bit more of a mental focus to it. Less boring for me. And presumably less boring for you guys watching. Since, you know, I'm actually moving around doing stuff. Granted, it's the same thing over and over again, but... at least there's a bit more visual action going on. Than sitting at a defense mission. So, will you stop growling? There's no reason to be growling right now.
Keep moving. None of the scanners have detected you.
I think I would prefer a COD for frame leveling. Over weapon leveling. True. True. Egg, I've talked about this before multiple times. Only having the one thing equipped does not let you level it up any faster. You want to level a weapon up? Use it. It doesn't share XP anyway. If it did, my other two weapons would have a lot more skill points to it. Even if they weren't max egg, they wouldn't be gaining any XP for me doing this. I do, Drake. Oh, worded egg. Was it this way you didn't become loaded? Oh, wait, you did. You didn't act like it. I could never use a couple energy pads. Speed this up. I normally wouldn't, but may as well. Tiger, how you doing? Oh, you're already max rank. Damn. Really does not take that long. Lenses in general, I think is what he's talking about. He's more specifically talking about how the XP share works with those over the concept of a weapon leveling. Because, spoiler alert, they work identically. XP share between the weapons and the lenses do indeed act the same way. Could the ratios be a little different? Yeah. Simply because the lenses work on converting shared XP on a percentage basis based on which lens you have equipped. But the way focus standing works with the school works the same way as XP sharing, meaning me killing an enemy with a dagger like this should give me focus points for the other schools or the other weapons I have on me. They don't. It's very possible at one point in time having only that weapon equipped probably allowed it to level up faster. But keep in mind on how long this game has been around and how often they probably updated that loading tip. It probably hasn't been updated in years. My next weapon? My next weapon is going to be this dagger.
The enemy is broken. Well done. Now get to extraction.
Because I have another couple forma into it. I have to put a total of 6, by the way. You know, I was going to level up the second Soma Prime that I got. Once I put another form into this weapon, I can grab that as well. There is affinity share between squad members, Drag. That will actually still give it to all the weapons that you have or don't have on you. But yeah, Egg, I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I have the other Soma Prime I have, by the way. I want to level up and fuck around with a rapid fire build for the high status rapid fire build. I talked about it like I think 2 hours ago or so, give or take. No, Drake. There is affinity sharing, in the sense that if you're near someone within the 3 bubble icon, whatever the hell you want to call it, the affinity range of an ally, you do get XP for enemies they kill. But you have to be within that range, and it goes to your frame and your weapons in a specific ratio, regardless if you have those weapons or not. That's why you're able to gain focus points and actually level things up much faster in a squad, because you're also relying on other people killing stuff, and it sends it to everything. Instead of just the one weapon that you would be using at the time / your frame.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return
Oh,
covered
wait,
in
did I actually
blood.
finish this? Did I
Safe and
discount?
sound.
I have 6 stars here. What am I missing? Oh, I know why. Okay. The Warframe builder doesn't have the Zaz on it for building purposes. So I had to polarize the stance slot to actually take Stinging Thorn. So that's one of the 6 forma that it says I need. The other one is from me gilding the Za. So I put that into primed pressure point, the Moderite slot there. So that's a 2 out of the 6. Okay, so I actually only needed to put 4 forma into this, not 5. Yeah, it doesn't work in solo because it wouldn't make any sense to work in solo. The only way you get XP in solo is actually using the weapon / your frame. The only XP share you get in solo play or even group play outside of Tenno affinity range is by using those weapons. There is no way by that. Regardless, I've played this game way too much to not know this. I'll still show it. Someone? Ribbon, what do you have on you? Hey. Let's see, fire rate. Speed trigger. Bio acceleration, because why the hell not? Alright, that's on reload. Eh. Status. What's the status at? 10%? It's actually not that high. I thought it would be higher. I think it'd be better off with the elemental status mods. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. I leveled up Rhyme Rounds twice. Yes, I have, 3 times for the current event, because I don't feel like farming them anymore. I farmed them so much in the fucking past. I think in all, I probably killed the Razorback a couple 100 times. Is there a stat for that, actually, in the profile? Gary's now on that. Yeah, I suppose the only stat that would actually be under is probably general boss kills. So he might actually be under scans, but I haven't scanned him every single time I've fought him. Yeah, I don't think there is a single stat for that. I was gonna do one thing with this build. If I wanted to actually have, not covert lethality, but condition overload. So I have, what, 3 points left there? I do. Okay, if I wanted a condition overload in here, I would have to put another form into this.
Were you visualizing a bloody
And I think I
battle?
will.
Me too.
Because that slot's gonna be that one anyway. I'll be able to create a second page for this dagger. I normally don't actually create different builds for weaponry, but I wanted to give what Noah had a try. Speaking of, I won't be able to put on Molten Impact that he had, but I will be able to put on the status variant of it, whatever the hell that one's called. Berserker? No. This weapon is more set up for the fact that it has an arcane and covert lethality, rather than using it for normal melee attacks.
There is a large platoon of Grenier Marines stationed here. Leave no one standing.
You'd think they'd clone something a little
Okay,
less
such as that.
ugly.
Hit the container directly. That. Which is the new arcane, by the way, that they added in Cetus. That was actually part of the past event, actually. I don't think you're going to be able to get it anymore, to my knowledge. I don't know what the hell they intend on doing with the infested Za parts and arcanes. God damn it, who the fuck showed up? Is that Arbiters?
You have
Yeah.
strayed too far from the path. May this correct you.
Wow. Why the hell did that not work the first time? This dagger I'm using is it would have to be for the arcane if that wasn't obvious with what I've said, but yeah, I have the components for all of the Zaws I would want to make. I'm just going through to level them. Part of what tonight's stream is about. Going through to level all the Zaws. Level them, guild them, level them again. Pretty much put them away. This one is the only one that's an exception. Mostly because I had a ribbon for it. And because the fucking arcane Noah showed me, it's kind of retarded.
You are surrounded by Grenier Marines.
Oh, I guess I could actually show the damage to you, Egg, on what the hell this arcane's doing. It's possible I can kill myself with it. Yeah, that's the arcane right there in a nutshell. I'd have a bit more damage on it if I had condition overload on it. Scythe ribbon, not sure if I'll ever use it though. I never thought I would use a ball ribbon. I was very happy with the Zaws. They seem a bit too early game for me. total damage of the Zaw is like 80 or something. Which I think got it. Oh wait, no, it was like 80 after the gilding. Do I still have the page open? Yeah, the total damage on this is 80. 4 in impact, 48 in puncture, and 28 in slash. Before modding. The Scythe? Or Scythe? The Scythe is the strike for a machete or polearm. I wouldn't bother with a YouTube guide on them. I'm using similar.com/zawcalc. ZAWCALC. It's a Zaw builder. It's the same one, page actually that's apparently on the wiki. On the Zaw page there, and I think the notes section. It's useful for coming up with combinations and actually seeing the end build stats of it once it's been gilded, because the gilding actually modifies the VA stats. Which is something I didn't learn until yesterday. So we would not have had to take a pit stop there if the damn arbiters didn't attack me. Execution sound on the Drakmasters is weird. I'm leaving that guy behind. He's alerted. I don't feel like sleeping that one guy. I guess I did sleep like one guy a couple times afterwards, but eh. Oh, those two guys must have been alerted. Didn't see it on the map though. Oh well. Not too hard to get the bonus, stealth bonus back up. Really hoping for an energy orb. I'm not getting it though. Oh, there's one. Killing him a bit too fast for Prowl to steal. Wow, enough questions did actually happen for KDK about to say that one. Yeah, I got enough energy. Okay, he decided to run away. Okay, enemies being back here. Really? You're loading pretty damn fast there. Dug up your old DS? For any particular reason, Drag? Game you've been wanting to play on it? Slash play again? Like you're talking the original DS, right? By the way, not like 3DS Max and whatever the fuck else DS variants they came out with. It's a DSi. I remember DSi for about half a month, at least hearing about it. DSi XL. Oh. I didn't even know they made an XL variant of the DSi. So, I mean, that's news to me.
You have broken their ranks and they are on the run. Another successful mission. Find extraction.
Technically 2, but 1 was this preloaded. Wait, what? Oops. I was mindlessly doing that while reading chat. Still gonna be back second. Cool. Only have one game with it. Well, technically 2, but 1 was this preloaded Zelda game. What preloaded Zelda game, Greg? I don't remember them releasing a Zelda game on the DSi. Or is the DSi back/forward compatible with the DS family? Oh, is it Legend of Zelda: The Four Swords? They should preload that on the DSi. Really? Hmm. I know the Four Swords was released on the DS. I did not know the DSi could run DS games. I never actually owned a DS. I'm not a big DS fan.
Well put together, operator.
Alright, shocking touch.
And make the load
Okay, so that's
loud.
build is done. I'm gonna do this one next. Which is actually going to be identical to what you just saw. It's just that one, that, and that. It's just going to be condition overload, covert lethality, shocking touch, and hold him back. Okay, so this is exactly the build that Noah has. I'm gonna have to switch those two so I can maintain corrosive. As far as DS games though, they work on pretty much every system. Oh. Your first Pokemon game was Pokemon Emerald, KB. Really? My first one was Pokemon Blue. Wait, was it blue? Or was it red? Yellow? It was one of the first gen ones. I don't remember which one it was.
Everything in
It's
progress,
3DS has different things
operator?
sometimes. Okay. Yeah, the whole DS family I'm not familiar with.
I will attempt to bypass
Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Or I'm sorry, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the N64. Those all I know. I skipped the entire and Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color. Those I also know, but the entire DS series I skipped. The Wii I know, the Wii U I know a little bit about, but don't own one. And the Switch that they recently came out, I don't own because I'm not a console person. Learned the hard way not to let friends name your Pokemon. Why is that, KB? Only ever had one at a time, no handhelds. We had a SNES and N64 when I was growing up. That was it. Eventually got a PlayStation, and after that, PlayStation 2. By the time I got into PlayStation, I was also a PC gamer, starting out to be anyway. And then eventually I just kind of moved away from consoles completely. Ended up with a Plusle. I have no idea what the fuck that even is. Named a vagina fart. Wow. Anyway, I'm gonna name the first, or the config B build Noah. Because it is technically his build. This config A is gonna be crit. So, the big difference between these two builds is this one's more for the covert lethality setup, whereas this one is going to be more for the arcane setup. Always found men in a attack. Yeah, I stopped paying attention to fucking Pokemon and all of its bullshit after Generation 3. Gen 3 was the last thing I actually really paid attention to any regard. After that, I stopped caring. Anyway, Silver Prime, by the way, only got up to rank 3. Granted, Egg said that he realizes now by reading. That rank 3, by the way, was probably off the 10,000 affinity I got for killing 3 enemies in a row within 10 seconds. Because that actually shares between everything. Anything after Platinum doesn't really exist to me. So, yeah, if, for those, I'm not talking to just Egg, for those that were wondering how the XP share works or not, if it's just because it's max ranked or not, there is proof that it does not share. The bonus affinity will, though. I'm gonna equip the Archiplasmor. I also think I'm gonna take a bathroom break, a couple minute break. Well, I say a couple minutes, for 5 minutes. Get up and stretch and whatnot. I've been going for like 2 hours since my last break, anyway. When we get back, I will be doing more Zal work. So I have another 5 Zals to make. I think it's 5. many strikes are there? I go to my inventory. Can I find how many strikes are? Like if I search strike, do the strikes show up? They do. They show up in miscellaneous. They do. Cool. I got 2, 4. Okay. There was an initial 6. These 2 were added for that previous event, that previous operation. Lake Star. Wait. Oh, right. The one I used was a grip, not a strike. You load to black and white. I wanted to play black and white, but I didn't care enough to. Like I said, I stopped paying attention to Pokemon after Gen 3. Okay, so yeah, I got 6 strikes to work on then. Just gonna be a quick level up and then be done with them. Though the Plague QR and the Plague Crippeth Rypath. There's an Asian choice on that. Could go either way, I could see. I will have to probably do a little bit more work on and try to figure out a proper build for. In terms of what parts I want to go with it. These other 4, I can always rebuild them. If I really wanted to come up with something specific. But on that, I will be right back after a few minute break.